Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, we are back with another YouTube video, a back-to-backer. Today we're discussing Warrant Officer Humphrey, his skills. I'm going to give him a rating. We're going to talk about him. Let's go. So, Warrant Officer Humphrey, he is a ranged vehicle hero, which is pretty hilarious. I basically said he'd be a shooter because of this very large gun that he has in his hand, or a vehicle hero because he has a, I don't even know what to call this, like a hover backpack thing. So anyway, I guess he's a vehicle hero. It seems like the designs just mean absolutely nothing when it comes to the troop type, but that's fine. We do need some more vehicle heroes, honestly. I always love vehicle heroes. So let's check out his skills. I haven't looked at anything, so it's completely blind, and we'll discuss it and go from there. So his first ability, regular, 23,000. I always check, even though there's never been a difference. I hope one day. His second ability, combat skill, effective range 6. Okay, that's interesting. Fatal blow, and here, look, he's shooting a gun, not a vehicle, but all right. 100% chance to deal 550% damage to the enemy squad with the highest troop power and make it take 10% more skill damage for 2 rounds. Okay, so this is like exactly, well, I shouldn't say exactly, but this is very similar to what we saw from Daisy. If you haven't checked out the video, it'll be in the description and up above. Daisy actually did more damage, surprisingly. He is a ranged, so he's sort of supposed to be a carry hero, but he does 550. I think she did like 645 or 660 or something like that damage. But he will then make them take 10% more skill damage for 2 rounds, and that can be stacked up to 2 layers. So this is okay. Generally, when you're attacking the highest troop power, that's actually worse. Carries in general want to be attacking the lowest troop power. You want to kill off people as quick as possible. You basically just want to instantly kill. If you instantly kill one squad, it's much better than hurting all 3 squads 33%. But that's just the way it is. 10% more skill damage is okay. It's definitely not bad. Since it's every round, it will be stacking. It's going to last for 2 rounds, so it could be decent. It could be solid. If you're using something like this with that 10% more skill damage, you basically you kind of need your at least one other high skill damage hero in the APC. Because then you can really maximize the advantage that you're getting from them taking more skill damage. So we'll see about some potential APCs for him as we move on. Nothing different 4 and 5. Again, I always check. It never changes. Let's check out his 5th ability. Here he's got his hovercraft. Movable armor prep skill, effective range of 2. When calculating the distance between the hero squad and the enemy squad, the distance is +1. All right, so that's why his second ability has an effective range of 6. For every +1 unit of distance between them, the hero squad would deal an additional 5% damage and take 20% less damage. All right, so what does this mean? Well, if Humphrey is in the back row of his APC, the back row enemy will technically be 6 spaces away. Which is weird, but I think there is actually one other hero who does do something like that. I can't remember which one, but that basically means if he's attacking the back row hero, he'll be dealing an additional 30% damage, and he'll take 120% less damage from them. I'm not sure if this actually stacks this part here, but apparently it does. So he'll deal 30% more damage to the enemy back row and take 120% less damage. From the enemy front row, generally that's a range of 3, but since he increases himself by +1, that's going to be a range of 4, meaning he'll deal 20% more damage to the enemy front row, and he'll take 80% less damage, which is huge. This is like insane. This is really strong here, especially if you couple it with the extra skill damage that he's going to be getting from his second ability. If this lands on the back row hero, the enemy back row, They're already going to be taking more skill damage. They're going to be taking additional damage. So it just becomes really, really strong potentially. So we'll kind of have to see how this comes into play. Like I said, the fact that it's the highest is a little interesting. It does probably mean in round 1 he will be attacking the back row, which is good. But we'll just have to see. This is pretty cool. Pretty interesting stuff here. So yeah. Also, this can potentially make him out of range of a lot of attacks. So we'll have to see. But most likely, the effective ranges on pretty much every hero is maximum of 5. If the enemy back row has a effective range of 5, this movable armor will actually put him at an effective range of 6, meaning they probably just can't hit this guy. Period. If it works like it's written, which you never really know in this game. If it works like it is written, he will probably be damaging quite a decent amount of damage. Now, obviously, like there are front row heroes who have effective ranges of 5, or like counterattacks that it doesn't really matter where your range is, like on a super killer or something. So in that case, he'll still be taking damage from those heroes, but he might be, he might be dodging damage from like Flash, for example, potentially, or Mech Pilot. We'll have to see. If it works as intended. Now, let's move on to his 6th ability. 15% increased vehicle damage. Great. This all just couples in. This all just synergizes. So far, I'm liking what I'm seeing. 40% might, of course, for vehicles only, but that's fine. And then his 8th ability, Cover. Okay, another prep skill and an effective range of 3. Okay, so that's his friendly range. When all friendly squads cast a total of 3 combat skills, the hero squad has a 100% chance to cast another fatal blow and gain 1 time of dodging effect, with its skill damage increased by 5%, lasting until the end of the battle. So I'm assuming this is fatal blow. Okay, yes, this is. So every time they get 3 combat skills casted, basically, he is just going to do another fatal blow, which is, again, this ability, 550% damage and extra skill damage. And then he'll dodge. I mean, who knows what this is? What's the percentage of dodging? No idea. Is this a guaranteed dodge for 1 damage? No idea. We'll have to see all of these things when we actually test him. This, however, would be very easy to see. Let's just assume you get you get a guaranteed the next damage you just dodge. That's just what I'm going to go with. I don't know what it'll be. Potentially it's just a 50-50 or something. Also, his skill damage will increase by 5% last until the battle ends. So if you pair this properly with heroes who cast combat skills, a lot of combat skills, this is going to be insane. The skill damage rather is going to be increased by a lot. Let's just say this happens let's say this happens 5 times a battle. That's going to be 25 additional skill damage, plus potentially the extra 20% skill damage. So what, 45%, plus potentially 30% extra damage. So almost 80% damage, plus 15% increased vehicle damage. That is a lot. It really is a lot. However, his main ability here, Fatal Blow, doesn't do a ton of damage, but with the fact that he has cover that's activating Fatal Blow more regularly, you can sort of assume that Fatal Blow is probably closer to like 800% damage, like a skill be having 800% damage, just because it's more than 100% chance to cast. So that could be really strong. Again, this will all basically rely on him being in specific APCs. However, we can already tell, or maybe not already, but we can assume that Daisy potentially has a decent synergy with him, because she also is going to be doing a combat skill every round. But that's it. So that's 8, which will give him what? Also, this is 8, so that's 16. How many do you need? 3. Okay, so that's not a ton. That'll be what, 5 extra. Okay, that is actually a lot. Just between those two heroes there, that's already 5 extra. If you couple it with another hero, I think like Fallen Raven, for example, somewhere. If you couple that with Fallen Raven also has a 100% chance here, so that's 24. Plus his other combat skill here, which happens when he takes damage. Daisy's going to synergize with him taking a lot of damage too. I know Fallen Raven does a lot of combat skills, so I feel like Fallen Raven, Daisy, and Humphrey is probably going to be an elite combination. Let's check out Super Killer. I don't remember if she is combat. I don't think she is. Yeah, she is not. Okay. That's what I thought. Most likely it's going to be Fallen Raven. And I think it kind of replaces, maybe not necessarily replaces, but, man, where is Azure Dart? Azure Dart has similar effects where every time they cast combat skills, she does extra stuff, but she doesn't have her own combat skills, so not sure. Potentially we can see something like Fallen Raven, Azure Dart, Humphrey, but I don't know. Maybe Fallen Raven, Daisy as a shooter. Okay, so yeah, Fallen Raven as a fighter, Daisy as a shooter, and then Humphrey as a vehicle. That means you get each type there. That could be really, really strong. There are some other heroes that do a lot of combat skills. I wonder, does Beast? Yeah, Beast does as well. Similar, so just 8 from Beast, so less than Fallen Raven, but that's okay. Most of the supports don't do much combat skill action here. This is a combat skill, but so maybe Wasteland. I don't know. I think there's actually kind of a lot of things that Humphrey can do. I think the fact that he synergizes with himself is really, really strong. We used to have a lot of metas with Scorpion and combat skills, so it's pretty easy. It's usually pretty easy to be able to make APCs that have combat skills. Overall, what do I think about this hero? Well, man, I think this hero is really, really strong. I think he buffs himself a shit ton. Pardon the language, but he definitely buffs himself a lot, up to like 80% damage constantly, sort of through all of this extra stuff here. Once this is really stacked up a lot, this could, I guess, get stacked up realistically if all 3 of them are happening every time. This could be up to 40% extra damage by the end of the battle. So that's just huge. He'll be casting this a lot. I think it could be really, really strong. If you also have, other heroes that are doing pretty decent damage, including like extra skill damage heroes, like a Fallen Raven, or even like a Daisy, for example, I think it could be really, really good. So as far as the rating for Humphrey, man, I don't like giving the 0.5s. I did just give one to Daisy. I'm going to do 4.5 out of 5. I think he looks, on paper, he looks really, really good. Now, that doesn't mean just go and instantly pull him. We definitely want to wait for battle reports. We want to see. The meta always changes too. So the current meta, it might be healer meta this season. In which case, his low kind of damage numbers, so it's not like huge hard hitting damage, might not cut it. I don't know. We'll have to see. Anyway, I'm going to give him a 4 out of 5, man. What do you guys think about Humphrey? Let me know in the comments down below. It'll be a while before we actually get to really have battle reports with Humphrey because this is not his week. But when all of that stuff comes out, I'll be sure to give you the updated information on him. But I'm excited for him. I like it. I always like vehicle heroes. Anyway, guys, that's going to do it for me. I'll catch you guys on the next one. Peace.